Connection to the Barras is born and raised in Glasgow. I know the Barras from younger years, buying things at the Barras, and anytime we have visitors, always bring them to the Barras just because they're so famous. Probably it was household things just coming down for my mammy. Bales of towels, net curtains. I had the guys shouting with net curtains. His wooden meter, a yardstick, wasn't a meter stick, and then just pulling them off and things and rolling it up, and hopefully you get enough for 2 rooms, the kitchen and the bathroom, and my mummy would then just shorten it because you always get the longer length for the kitchen, and then she always had enough of either the back of bathroom doors or bathroom windows and things. So it was really that. You wouldn't have went, well, at that time wouldn't have went anywhere else for bales of towels. No, it would have been good quality, and it went from a big bath sheet to bath towel, hand towels, face cloths, so you then had all, and the best designs, the newest designs. Even then they would have been in colours and things like that, and they would have had nice wee ribbons and things, so finishing it off, just wee details like that. I'm here because of the history and things, wanting to know even more of my history, old age thing. That's it, we've got the time and inclination now, and enjoyed walking past some of the stalls outside, and I'll go back after this for getting some crystal vases. The Barras is Glasgow. That's it, just like people make Glasgow, the Barras make Glasgow. Kids that didn't shop and have never shopped in the Barras know the Barraland, so we'll get to know if they mention to their parents or their grandparents that they're coming to a concert, they'll then get a story, usually from their grandparents or their great-grandparents. They won't want to listen to it, they'll have to listen to it, but they'll retain that knowledge and they'll have that memory and things that they will then pass on. So, that's it. It's good. It would be excellent if we could keep it alive. I don't know how we do it. There's farmers' markets everywhere else. Surely we'd be able to have somewhat a farmers' market. We need fresh fruit and vegetables. There used to be vans that sold their butcher meat and things. It was refrigerated vans. My favourite memory of the Barras is June 1979. I had just had my show of presents on a Friday night at my mummy's house. All the aunties had been up. My pals from work came along, and after the show of presents, we then went over to, I'm from Cranhill, the Dalriada in Edinburgh Road, and with me and all my pals with pots and pans and mainly lids, it wasn't really pots and pans, lids and spoons, and a potty full of salt. And we went into the pub, and they then took the bride round and she gave all the old men a kiss. Now these old men might have been 40, well past that myself now, but they were old men. And I would say they slobbered. They did not slobber, they just gave you a kiss because it was working men and things, so they wouldn't have, but they also knew they had daughters that get dragged out like this, but you gave them a kiss, and then the money went into the pot of salt. I think the salt was to do with ward off evil spirits and things like that. You can back up the road, you're on the outside your mummy's house, they're still battering away at these pot lids and things, and you're jumping over the potty, singing the songs, hands up, kick the can, or whatever wedding ones there were at the time. But I had gathered a lot of money. Now I think I had gathered about £30. I'm sure it was something like that, because I bought the curtains for my house. My hubby, I married a lad from Drumchapel. He had a council house in Drumchapel, and went to the Barras and get fiberglass curtains, 90 by 90, off-white colour. I think we'd call it winter white. My mammy, I'm sure, always looked at it and thought they were dirty. It's winter white. I'm a dressmaker, I know colours and things like that. And so I had these lovely curtains. I paid the man. Now, even when I was there and watching for my curtains coming up, and the guys along the stalls that were in a wee bit, and he's up and he's shouting. They didn't need a gavel. Their hands went down, they hammered, shouted. You were warm. I know it was June, but even in winter you were warm because you were couriering in with everybody else. There was crowds, and he was shouting what he had, and you were waiting for your 90 by 90, and your hand was up, and you were jumping out the crowd. 5'4" of me was all jumping out to make sure he saw me. I knew I needed these curtains and things. I got the curtains, went into the bag. Some of it had changed into notes myself, but there was a pile of it still with salt on it and things. So that then went up, and then came the man saying, "Hey, what's this? Salt on it, what he's up to," and things. And it was all, I don't even know what he said, but I know he would have said something, because it was all, he's singing in the street hen, because it was all silver. Because it would have been silver and things, it wouldn't have been notes that were put into it, but it was full of salt. So I got my curtains. I probably did get other curtains because it was 30 quid. It was a lot of money, and it was probably dressed the 2-bedroom house, the windows in it. So that's really my memory of the Barras, and a good memory and a good time, as in I can date it to June 79.